This is the 16th season of Ellen. It's a hit show, and of course there was lots to talk to her about that, and we had some laughs. But as you're about to see, our conversation then took a very serious turn. I want to peer into your psyche. Why do you enjoy pranks and our discomfort so much?
Well, it doesn't seem like it's just me. Everyone seems to enjoy it equally. I mean, it's not like if I'm sitting here doing something and no one's responding to it.
And you chased me around with the frog. Like, I have a fear of frogs.
And it wasn't a real frog. I wouldn't have done that to a frog. It was a that would be stressful for a frog.
I was sweating and crying.
I know you were.
And you enjoyed that.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Of course.
Well, what is that about you?
It's I'm not sure. I mean, it's for sure immaturity. I mean, that's...
It's been 16 seasons of laughs. And of course, scares. With Ellen DeGeneres, the groundbreaking comedian turned actress.
I'm gay.
Turned talk show host, even has her own lifestyle brand, and now a new clothing line. Ellen is always on the move, literally. You have like a lot of side hustles, because you also have this house flipping thing that you import to do.
It's not really house flipping. We buy a house and we love it, and we stay in it, and then we get a little bored because we like a different style or a different aesthetic, and I love furniture and I love decorating. So if I find something else and we make money, it turns out that why not move to another house?
That's flipping.
Okay. But it's not intentional.
I was reading an interview you did recently. You said that you knew when you were young that you would be famous, or that fame was important to you to achieve.
Yeah, no, I didn't think I'd be famous, but my parents were very, I would say, almost obsessed with... I mean, a lot of people are interested in fame, but we didn't have money, and we never owned a home. We lived in apartments. We would look at houses every Sunday. We'd go to open houses, and we could never afford a house. As a kid, I thought that was going to be my house, and now I just buy as many houses as I can, you know?
I wondered how you felt about fame now, because we don't know each other all that well, but I always think that when I see you in person, there's a certain shyness about you.
I'm not kind of a, you know, need attention person. I guess I'm shy, but I think what I think about fame now is people start out in this business. They start out trying to get love or approval. It doesn't fill a void. I mean, you have to fill that yourself. You have to know you're good enough and you're and a solid person without someone else's approval.
This year, Ellen has found new purpose through a foundation created in her name, a 60th birthday gift from Portia de Rossi, her wife of 10 years.
When we first got together, she said, "What would you do if you weren't in this business?" And I said, "I would like to work with endangered species, but specifically, I idolized Diane Fossey when I was a little girl." So we're now building the Ellen DeGeneres campus with the Diane Fossey Foundation.
She said that you often would remark at home, "Am I doing enough? Am I doing enough?" Mm-hmm. You've given away tens of millions of dollars through this show and through your good fortune.
Yeah.
But you still feel like that sometimes?
Oh, yeah. We try to help as many people as we can, but there are a lot of people that, you know, so many people need help, and I can only do so much. You know, right now my platform is this show, and I hope that it's an escape for people from what's going on in the world.
But sometimes the heart-wrenching issues of the day come to her doorstep, like this week with actress Busy Phillips.
Last week with the Kavanaugh hearings, I saw Dr. Ford take the stand, and, you know, I write about my own experience being raped at age 14.
I was 15, and I had something happen to me.
You have talked about your own experience,
yeah,
with abuse, and I just wondered how you feel this moment is impacting our country and you personally.
Well, as a victim of sexual abuse, I am furious at people who don't believe it and who say, "How do you not remember exactly what day it was, or what you know?" You don't remember those things. What you remember is what happened to you, and where you were, and how you feel. That's what you remember. And I was 15 years old, you know, and I'm not even going to go into the details. It doesn't matter, but, you know, we are really vulnerable at that age, and we trust, and then when you are violated, you don't know what to do, and you don't want to say anything because, first of all, you just are wondering how did this happen? How was I stupid? I mean, all these things that you think you could have controlled, and you can't. I think anybody who's gone through it right now is watching this so angry because, how dare you not believe us?
And so many women are now looking at their past and realizing, that wasn't okay.
Yeah.
Do you think that this will add up to something meaningful?
I hope so. I mean, really, you just imagine if Dr. Ford would have been that angry on the stand and would have talked back to somebody questioning her. Women aren't supposed to do that, but he can get away with it because he was angry. She was angry too. She controlled herself and was hurt, but she's not allowed to do that because we're not allowed to do that.
Are you hopeful in this moment?
I'm hopeful, but then I see things that just continue to happen. I see Trump, and he's, now mocking Dr. Ford.
Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
I don't like to talk about him, and this is not political. It really isn't. It's got nothing to do with being Republican or Democrat or anything. It's just about respect and someone who is the leader of our country who is mocking someone who was abused. You don't do that. You don't mock somebody. Yeah. I'm angry. I'm sorry.
I get it. Having a show where you do something good and make people smile is not a small contribution right now.
Thanks. Well, I hope, thank you. If anything, before I stop doing this show someday, I hope that I'm empowering women. We just have to not be quiet anymore.
My goodness. That was I've never seen Ellen that way.
It was very unexpected. I mean, Ellen is, I said she's a little shy, but she's reserved and she doesn't speak out all the time, but and I almost didn't even ask the question, but she clearly had something to say. And right after that interview, which of course you could see we did it on her set, and then I walked off the stage and she appeared before her audience and she was in tears. And she said, I'm sorry to get emotional, but I felt I had to say something. And so, so she did. She used her voice, which is what a lot of women are doing.